Good morning. I am Dr. E. Srinivasa. In this video, I am going to explain some concept in nuclear decay, especially regarding alpha decay, its disintegration energy, and also how and why alpha decay takes place, and also Gamow's theory of alpha decay. This nuclear decay is a chapter in 3rd BSc Physics students studying in 6th SEM for paper 8 Nuclear and Particle Physics, subject code SSF 611. This is the video for session number 27. So we know that many thousands of nuclei can be produced and studied in the lab. However, only less than 300 of these nuclei are stable. The rest are radioactive. We have also seen that the degree of instability grows with distance. A given nuclide is from the stable nuclide with the same mass number. We also know that in radioactivity chapter, an unstable nuclei emit alpha particle, beta particle and gamma rays to reduce their mass and move towards stability. So, nuclear stability. The strong nuclear force holds all nuclei together. We are also known that in the chapter nuclear forces, a nuclear force is a strong nuclear force which holds the nucleons, that is both protons and neutrons, together inside the nucleus. Otherwise, protons would repel each other because the charge on the proton is positive charge and they are like charges, repel each other, gives rise to Coulomb's repulsive force. So, without nuclear force, the protons and neutrons will not held together inside the nucleus in a very small region at the center of the nucleus. And also, neutrons space out protons and make nucleus stable. So, between the protons, there is a presence of neutrons. These neutrons reduce the Coulomb force of repulsion between the protons. Not all isotopes are radioactive, as I told you. Only unstable nuclei decay. So, decay to form a stable nuclei also. Stable nucleus will not decay. Only unstable nuclei having excess energy and mass will decay. In smaller atoms, stable isotopes have equal number of protons and neutrons. In larger atoms, stable isotopes will have more neutrons than protons. If we go on increasing the atomic number, so increase in atomic number or mass number, so gives rise to heavy nuclei. In larger atoms, stable isotopes will have more neutrons than protons. Hence, neutrons to protons ratio, that is N-Z ratio, goes on increases. Too many or too few neutrons makes the nucleus unstable because of presence of large number of protons and neutrons. So, makes the nucleus unstable. So, we will going to study what is nuclear decay. So, we know that nuclear decay or radioactive decay is the process where an unstable atomic nucleus decays or turns into a more stable nucleus, release energy in the form of ionizing particles and radiation such as alpha, beta and gamma radiation. These ionizing particles, as you know that, include alpha particles and beta particles, and the radiation includes the famous gamma rays. So, radioactive decay is the process or nuclear decay is the process where an unstable atomic nucleus decays or turns into more stable nucleus, releasing energy in the form of ionizing particles and radiation. When a radioactive substance disintegrates by emitting either alpha particle or a beta particle or a gamma particle, the original atom is called as parent. So, the radioactive element which undergo decay is called parent, and it decays into new element called the daughter. That means the element formed after the alpha beta decay is called the daughter. Even gamma decay is called daughter. The new element formed after alpha, beta and gamma decay is called the daughter nuclei, and the nuclei which undergoes decay is called parent or original atom. With alpha or beta particle, a large amount of energy is released, is called disintegration energy. So, with the emission of alpha beta particle, there is also release of large amount of energy. That energy is called disintegration energy. So, types of nuclear decay. So, there are mainly three types of nuclear decay. One is alpha decay, and the second one is beta decay, and the third one is gamma decay by emission of alpha particle, beta particle and gamma particle. Let us study one by one. What is alpha decay, how it takes place, and what is the alpha disintegration energy we will going to study. Type of radioactive decay in which an atomic nucleus emits an alpha particle is called alpha decay. Whenever a radioactive substance emits an alpha particle, then it is said to exhibit alpha decay. An alpha particle is a nucleus of an helium atom. That is, alpha particle is nothing but nucleus of an helium atom having 2 units of charge and 4 units of mass. That means it consists of 2 protons and 2 neutrons tightly bound. So the 2 protons and 2 neutrons are not separate. These 2 protons and neutrons are tightly bound. That particle is called alpha particle having 2 units of charge and 4 units of mass. When an alpha active nucleus undergoes nuclear decay, it decays into daughter element with mass number A-4 and atomic number Z-2. In addition to alpha particle, a large amount of energy is released. So you already know that alpha particle is nothing but helium nucleus. It has 2 units of charge and 4 units of mass. Whenever an alpha particle emitted from the parent nucleus in the daughter nucleus or element, the mass number decreases by 4 and atomic number decreases by 2 to conserve the law of charges and mass number, and it is represented by the equation Zxa gives rise to Z-2y A-4 plus 2 alpha 4 plus energy. This Zxa represents the parent element, gives rise to y, that is daughter element. Here y is the daughter element and this is the alpha particle. That is, emission of an alpha particle decreases the atomic number by 2. So it is represented by Z-2 and mass number decreases by 4, that is A-4. The released energy is translated into the kinetic energy of the emitted alpha particle. This is alpha particle and the heavy recoil nucleus. So the energy released in the alpha decay is translated into the mainly kinetic energy of the emitted alpha particle and a heavy recoil nucleus. Condition for the decay is that the disintegration energy must be more than the potential barrier energy. This is disintegration energy, that is disintegration energy must be positive. This is the condition for alpha decay. Alpha decay happens in larger unstable nuclei only. This is very, very important. Alpha decay happens in large, heavy, unstable nuclei only, that is having atomic number more than 82 or 83 and mass number mostly greater than 210. Whereas beta decay occurs in both lighter and heavy nucleids also. Alpha decay takes place only in large or heavy unstable nuclei only, whereas beta decay occurs in both light and heavy nucleids also. Unstable nucleus comes to stable state by decreasing its size, by releasing certain particles like proton, neutron and alpha particle or beta particles inside the nucleus. So this figure represents the alpha decay or alpha emission. This is parent nucleus. Example, uranium-238, 92 uranium-238. It decays into thorium, that is daughter nucleus, and also helium. So its atomic number decreases by 2 and mass number decreases by 4. So 92 in the parent element becomes 90 in the daughter element, and 238 mass number in the parent element decreases by 4, that is 234. 238 minus 4, 234 in the daughter nucleus, that is in thorium. And this is the alpha particle, nothing but helium nucleus, having 2 units of charge and 4 units of mass, because total number of protons and neutrons gives to a mass number. Here 2 protons plus 2 neutrons gives a mass number 4. And this green color represents the number of protons and the red color represents the number of neutrons. There are 2 protons and 2 neutrons held tightly or bound to form a helium nucleus. So 92 uranium-234 decays to 90 thorium-230 and an alpha particle with release of large amount of energy called disintegration energy. So another example of alpha decay is that here radium-226 is there. 88 radium-226 is a parent nucleus. It decays to radon, which is a radioactive gas having atomic number 86, mass number 222 plus this is alpha particle called helium nucleus. So here atomic number 88, mass number 226 is there. Here atomic number decreases by 2, 88 becomes 86, mass number decreases by 4, that is 226 minus 4, that is 222 plus alpha particle having 2 units of charge and 4 units of mass. In this reaction both atomic number and mass number are conserved, because 2 plus 86 gives rise to 88, 4 plus 222 gives 226. Alpha decay occurs in particular for heavy massive nuclei, as I told you in the last slide. The kinetic energy of the emitted alpha particle is determined by the mass of the mother and daughter system. The kinetic energy of the emitted alpha particles is determined by the mass of the mother and daughter system. For example, here, so radium decays to radon, and this N-2 gives the number of neutrons, and helium nuclei plus energy, that is called alpha decay. The energy released is translated into the kinetic energy of the emitted alpha particle and the heavy recoil nucleus, as you know that. So this is the energy level diagram for radium transition of radium to radon. This is the energy level of radium 226, and it decays by 2 modes, by alpha 94.4% with an energy of 4.785 MeV and 5.5% decay in this mode, which is having 4.602 MeV, and it comes to this state, and again gamma ray is emitted 3.3%. So this is the nuclear decay scheme of radium-226. The released energy is translated into the kinetic energy of the emitted alpha particle and the heavy recoil nucleus. This is alpha particle. So you already know that alpha disintegration energy. So disintegration energy is the energy released during radioactive decay. Nuclear physics involves the study of many nuclear reactions where one atom or particles turns into another, or where particles collide, creating a new ones. These reactions are on a tiny scale but can be super dramatic, absorbing or creating huge quantities of energy. Even though the particles are very tiny, they emit a large amount of energy during their transitions. Some of these reactions are called radioactive decay chains. So once if the radioactive elements undergo decay, a daughter nucleus is formed. A daughter nucleus may be also radioactive. It undergo nuclear decay, emits another new element called granddaughter. Like that, a series of radioactive elements are formed, are called radioactive decay reactions. In alpha decay, the disintegration energy or decay energy is an important parameter. Alpha disintegration energy is defined as sum of the kinetic energy of the alpha particle and the recoil nucleus. This is very important definition. Alpha disintegration energy is defined as sum of the kinetic energy of the alpha particle and the recoil nucleus, that is daughter nucleus. So, and it is given by E is equal to, or it is represented by the Q is equal to sum of the kinetic energies of the alpha particle and recoil nucleus. So, of M alpha V alpha square is the kinetic energy of the alpha particle. Of My Vy square is the kinetic energy of the recoil nucleus, where M alpha is the mass of alpha particle, V alpha is its velocity, and My is the mass of residual nucleus and Vy is its velocity. So, according to the law of conservation of momentum, we know that linear momentum should be conserved. That is, momentum, linear momentum of the alpha particle, emitted alpha particle is equal to linear momentum of the residual nucleus. That is, product of mass and velocity is called momentum. So, M alpha V alpha is the linear momentum of the alpha particle is equal to product of My Vy is the linear momentum of the residual or daughter nucleus. From this formula, he equate for Vy. So, Vy is equal to M alpha V alpha over My. So, Vy is equal to M alpha V alpha over My. Therefore, you know that equation for disintegration energy Q is equal to of M alpha V alpha square plus of My Vy square. Substitute for Vy. So, Vy is M alpha V alpha over My whole square. Q is equal to of M alpha V alpha square. Here also of M alpha square V alpha square is there. So take one M of M alpha V alpha as common, then of M alpha V alpha square into 1 plus 1 M alpha is remaining here over My. If so, here My square is there, 1 My get cancelled. Disintegration energy is given by Q is equal to this of M alpha V alpha square is called kinetic energy of the alpha particle into 1 plus M alpha is the mass of alpha particle or mass of a daughter nucleus, that is My, or Q is equal to, so this of M alpha V alpha square or kinetic energy of the alpha particle is given by E alpha into 1 plus M alpha over My. where m alpha is the mass of alpha particle, my is the mass of daughter nucleus. So this equation gives the alpha disintegration energy. The alpha disintegration energy ranges from 4 to 9 MeV. Since the masses of nuclei in the unit of atomic masses are close to their mass number, we can write mass of the daughter nucleus formed after alpha decay is given by A minus 4, its mass number decreases by 4, but mass of the alpha particle is 4, 2He4. So mass number of the alpha particle is 4. Then substitute this value in this equation for alpha disintegration energy. Get Q is equal to E alpha into 1 plus M alpha over My, 1 plus 4 over A minus 4, that is equal to A over A minus 4. So Q is equal to E alpha into A over A minus 4, and A is divided by A minus 4. So Q is always greater than E alpha. Alpha disintegration energy varies from 4 MeV to 9 MeV. This shows that Q is always greater than E alpha. That is, kinetic energy of the E alpha is always less than the decay energy Q, or the decay energy Q is always greater than the kinetic energy of the alpha particle. Then only, so the decay of the alpha particle takes place. So kinetic energy of E alpha is always less than kinetic energy of the alpha particle, that is E alpha is always less than the decay energy Q. Then only alpha can takes place. Emission of alpha particle takes place when Q is positive. Next, we'll know the Gamow theory of alpha decay. So how the emission of the alpha particle takes place, that is explained by Gamow. Suppose, consider an alpha particle is outside the nucleus. This is the nucleus and this is the potential barrier of the nucleus. If it is outside the nucleus, if you bring an alpha particle from outside, alpha particle has positive charge and also nucleus is also positively charged. So there is a force of repulsion. Work has to be done in moving an alpha particle to move towards the nucleus. That work done is stored in the form of potential energy. So our potential. That potential, according to Coulomb's law, is given by 2Zd square over 4 pi epsilon naught r. Because Z is the atomic number and E is the charge, and charge on the alpha particle is 2E. Ze into 2E gives 2Zd square. Zd is the charge on the nucleus, 2 is the charge on the alpha particle. So Zd into 2E gives the 2Zd square. So 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by R. So here 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 is Ze and Q2 is 2E. So Q1 Q2 is 2Zd square over R. That gives the potential. So as alpha particle approaches the nucleus, its potential energy increases due to electrostatic repulsion. As the alpha particle approaches, its potential energy goes on, increases due to its electrostatic repulsion. Okay, this curve represents the Coulomb's law, that is potential barrier, 1 over 4 pi epsilon Q by R. So V is inversely proportional to R. So as R decreases, this is as R decreases, potential increases, or potential energy increases. When it reaches a distance R equal to the radius, this R equal to the radius, this is radius, this is radius of the nucleus, R is equal to A. the particle will have the maximum potential energy represented by Vc as shown in the figure. This is Vc or velocity of the alpha particle. When the alpha particle is inside its nucleus, suppose if the alpha particle is inside its nucleus, what happens? Potential energy is minus V naught because it has to escape from the nucleus against the strong nuclear force. Because it is bound to the nucleus, it has a potential barrier of height Vc. It has a potential barrier of height Vc. If it has to escape from the nucleus, if the particle, alpha particle is inside the nucleus, it should be emitted from the nucleus. For the emission, it has to escape from this potential barrier of height Vc. Because it is bound to the nucleus and it has a potential barrier of height Vc, if it has to escape from the nucleus, it should have a maximum energy of Vc is equal to 35 MeV for an uranium nucleus. Suppose if we take an example, uranium nucleus emits alpha particle, then if we calculate the potential height of the uranium nucleus by substituting the Z value, atomic number of the uranium, that is 92, and charge on the proton, and 1/4 pi epsilon, and distance r about 1.2 to 1.3 Fermi, and after calculation we'll get the Vc value is 35 MeV for uranium nucleus. But alpha particles emitted from the uranium nucleus have an energy of 4.2 MeV only. So the kinetic energy of the alpha particle inside the nucleus, when it is emitted from the radioactive decay, has kinetic energy only 4.8 MeV. But this uranium nucleus has a potential barrier of height about 35 MeV. Then how it is possible to emit, alpha particle emitted from this potential barrier of height 35 MeV. Thus, classical mechanics fails to explain alpha decay. So, alpha particle has only kinetic energy 4.2 MeV of the order of 4.8 MeV. But this uranium nucleus has a potential barrier of height 35 MeV. This less energy alpha particle, how it should escape from this potential barrier of height 35 MeV. Thus, classical mechanics fails to explain alpha decay. So once again you can see the potential well of this nucleus, and this part explains the Coulomb's potential barrier, as this represents the kinetic energy of the alpha particle. Whenever an alpha particle approaches or enters move towards the nucleus, there is an electrostatic force of repulsion. As it approaches nearer to the nucleus, it has a maximum potential energy when small r is equal to the radius of the nucleus. When alpha particle is present inside the nucleus, it cannot escape from the potential barrier. Alpha particle cannot escape classically. Then how it emits, we will see. So this part represents the nuclear potential barrier, and this part's Coulomb potential barrier, and this is the maximum energy, ranges from 25 to 35 MeV depending upon the mass number of or atomic number of the radioactive nucleus. Therefore, after failure of the classical mechanics to explain the emission of the alpha particle from the radioactive nucleus, Gamow in 1928 and R. Bourne and E. Condon independently applied wave mechanics to the problem of alpha decay. In 1928, George Gamow, R. Gurney and E. Condon independently applied wave mechanics to the problem of alpha decay and well successfully resolved the alpha decay paradox. According to quantum mechanical wave theory, an alpha particle has definite escaping probability from the potential barrier wall. How? It follows the conditions like the height and width of the potential barrier is not infinite. The alpha particle inside the potential barrier constantly moving and it collide with the potential barrier wall with a certain high frequency, and every time when it collides with the potential barrier wall. So, alpha particle inside the potential barrier constantly move back and forth and collide with the potential barrier wall with a certain high frequency, and also at every time when it collides the potential barrier wall, it has a definite escaping probability. The impinging or transmitting of alpha particles takes place at the potential barrier. Therefore, there is a finite probability that the alpha particles break through the potential barrier even though the kinetic energy of the alpha particles is less than about 4 to 5 times the height of the potential barrier. It has definite probability that it can penetrate through potential barrier wall even if the potential barrier height is about 4 to 5 times its kinetic energy. This effect of leakage of particles through higher potential barrier is called tunneling or quantum tunneling. So, inside the potential barrier wall, so the alpha particle continuously moving back and forth, collide with the wall with a high frequency, and it has a definite probability to escape or break through the potential barrier even though the kinetic energy of the alpha particle is less than about 4 to 5 times the height of the potential barrier, because alpha particles have kinetic energy in the range 4 to 9 MeV, but the potential barrier height is around 35. So, it is less than 4 to 5 MeV. I mean 4 to 5 times the height of the potential barrier. So, it has a definite probability it can penetrate through potential barrier wall even if the potential barrier height is about 4 to times its kinetic energy. This effect of leakage of particles through higher potential barrier is called quantum tunneling, and emission of alpha particle is a probabilistic phenomena. So, and also you can see this is the potential barrier, nuclear potential barrier. Because of the continuous movement of the alpha particle inside the potential barrier, it has wave-like characteristics. We also studied that whenever a particle in motion exhibit wave characteristics or de Broglie wavelength or waves, they are called waves, and it has a definite probability of escaping from this potential barrier, and these waves shows that escape of the alpha particle from the potential barrier. The one body model of alpha decay assumes that the alpha particle is preformed in the nucleus and confined to the nuclear interior by the Coulomb potential barrier. In the classical picture, if the kinetic energy of the alpha particle is less than the potential energy represented by the barrier height, the alpha particle cannot leave the nucleus. In the quantum mechanical picture, however, there is a finite probability that the alpha particle will tunnel through the barrier and leave the nucleus. The alpha decay constant is then a product of the frequency of collisions with the barrier or knocking frequency V alpha over 2r and the barrier penetration probability Pt. So, lambda alpha is equal to mu alpha by r into probability constant. And also in this slide you can calculate the potential barrier height of the uranium nucleus. So 2Z square by 4 pi epsilon naught, and converting into MeV, you get 36 MeV. And also you can calculate the radius of the uranium nucleus. R is equal to R naught a to the power of 1 by 3. R naught is 1.2 Fermi and mass number is 235 12 to the power of 1 by 3. Nearly radius of the uranium nucleus is 7.4 Fermi or femtometer. So, and also you can calculate various parameters.